Hello everyone. Today I'll talk about a most wanted topic that you guys have been asking me for a long time. It's about my TIFR interview experience. So I joined TIFR long back. 2016 was the time when I joined TIFR. So rules and regulation has changed a little bit. I'll talk about that again. But the overall framework of this interview process is same. And before I start the video, I want to make sure that I am not going to disclose any of the specifics or any confidential matter regarding TIFR interview. But overall, I would say how was my interview experience, how I enjoyed, how I reacted to the situation. So it's kind of like my experience, okay? And also in this experience, I would share what you can do to boost your chances or to get into TIFR. Okay, so as you know that TIFR is a national center under Government of India, the Department of Atomic Energy, and it was funded by Department of Atomic Energy. So it's completely government institute. People have a misconception that it's a private institute. It's a government institute, and moreover, it's a deemed university which can award degree to students. And now it is awarding all type of like masters to doctoral degrees. It was founded by Dorabji Tata in 1945, and it was the vision of Dr. Homi Bhabha. And TIFR is recognized not only in India but also in the world. So it's a very nice place, one of the premier institutes in India to do your doctoral degree from. So people generally target TIFR for many reasons: the place, the energy, the people there. Everything is totally different. Everything is a new experience. At least for me, it was. So I'll tell you why. So first of all, first and foremost criteria is you have to qualify this examination. Joint graduate entrance examination for biology and interdisciplinary life sciences. So obviously you have to give this examination. Be you're a MSc student or a BSc student, you're applying for MSc, PhD, int PhD, anything. You have to give this exam. And this exam score is accepted by wide variety of institutes, including all the TIFR centers. So the TIFR Triad, the TIFR Mumbai, NCBS, and Interdisciplinary Center in Hyderabad, all of them accept the score of this exam. But each of these institutes have their own interview. For example, Mumbai have their own interview, whereas NCBS interview is totally different. So I got a call from Mumbai and went there. Also, I went to NCBS. I'll share that experience sometime later. But now I'll share the experience of TIFR. So it was 2016 February where I got the email from TIFR Graduate School that you are selected for the interview and you have to go to the Mumbai campus and you have to give the interview from this date to this date. And interview was somewhere around March. So I was a graduate. For you who don't know, I was a graduate from Presidency University, Kolkata, and my degree was BSc in Life Sciences. So after that, I went on to give the interview in Mumbai. So from Kolkata to Mumbai, that was a fun journey. Along with my few classmates, we went as a team. Now I'll tell you. So looking at the TIFR at a first glance, it was amazing. First of all, its campus, which is situated just near the sea, amazing campus. All the facilities, the campus, the warm people, everybody really give it a prime look. Not only a prime institute by its name tag, but from inside, I was really happy to see TIFR at that point of time. So जो इंस्टीट्यूट के बारे में इतना सुना था, उसी इंस्टीट्यूट में अभी गया तो मतलब अलग ही एक फीलिंग आ रहा था. And especially its sea beaches. It was like awesome. The sea face of TIFR, you can see the whole Mumbai skyline from there. And it's really like, initially you would feel like a heaven. But बहुत सही था वो. तो अभी ये सब छोड़ के पहले जाते इंटरव्यू पे. And obviously the sunset का view कौन भूल सकता है. So we went for the lab visit in the first day. So the first day is basically introduction to the research that is happening in the TIFR. So that's a very good thing. So first day is kind of an orientation day where you get more primed towards the research that is happening in the TIFR. Because many of us don't check what is happening in any research institute. We should check, but we don't check. So generally what happens, they give you an idea that what really happens, what is the current scenario, current project that is ongoing in the lab, where you can fit in, what are the openings in the lab, etc., etc., right? So those things are actually demonstrated by the existing students, the seniors, and it was fascinating. All of them gave very nice presentations that would really help you to get a quick overview that what happens, and then they would divide you into the groups and take you to the facilities. So first they would take you to the seminar hall where there would be a lecture 5 minutes each for every lab, and they would tell you that what they are doing right now, what is the future prospect, etc., etc. And then what they would do, they would take you in groups to the labs and they would do a lab visit. In the lab, it would be fun. You would be asking questions, you would be seeing many facilities, you would be seeing instruments, equipments, how well equipped the labs are, etc. You would be seeing, right? And it's fascinating. Then comes day two. Day two is the round one of the interview, where you have to go in a particular place at a particular point of time. Let me tell you, in the day one, which I forgot to tell you, one senior professor would be describing about the course in ultra details. Nitty gritty details would be covered in the 1 hour address to the students. Like, they would be clear in each points. They would talk about the program, the prospect of the program, the fellowships, the selection criteria, how they select students, what is expected in the interview. So none of like very formal dress code or anything. These things are unnecessary for the interview. So obviously they would also give you an option which was very nice, that if you live far, I mean, you have to go to Mumbai and don't know how far you are living from the campus. So they would ask, if you are living far from the campus, you can come and give the interview at the later half of the day. So since I was like staying very close to the campus, I gave the interview at the first half of my day. That means in the beginning. And in the round one, you would have a 15 to 20 minutes interview, and there would be 3 to 4 people in your panel. So it's a small interview, small scale interview, only 3 to 4 people. Generally, it is 3 people. So then they would ask you about which subject you are comfortable in, what is your interest. So it's not that you go into the interview hall, they would like fire you with questions. It's like they would first make you very comfortable with the environment. They would know what are you doing, what is your interest, etc., etc. And they would only ask questions from the topics that you are interested in. More or less, like, they would ask your comfort zone and they would ask you to answer question from that comfort zone. For example, you said, okay, I'm really interested in cell biology or really interested in molecular biology, so it's expected that your questions are from that part. Suddenly they won't ask you a hardcore genetics problem or hardcore problem. I mean, if it is important, they would ask you, but not today, in the next interview. So first interview is very, what should I say, it's very chilled and it's also nice. And at the end of the first interview, there would be a list which would be online at the same day, and you would get to know that whether you are selected for the next round or not. So I was like roaming around in the Marine Drive, and we suddenly got a call that, okay, we are selected for the next round, so we will go to the next round. So next day was the next round. So day 3 is the round 2 interview. In the round 2 interview, there would be more people than before. So at least in my time, there was at least 10 people, and everybody would ask you questions from different aspects. Now in this interview, they would obviously ask you which topics you are comfortable in, but they can ask you many topics, so it's not a problem. But the fun part is none of these questions are really rakta marne wala question ya fir knowledge based question. These questions are generally based on analytical skills. So what they really look into you, they also say the same thing in the interview beginning. They look at your thought process. They would never judge you based on whether you know the glycolysis six number step of the glycolysis pathway or what is the rate limiting enzyme in glycolysis pathway. These are information oriented questions. So these questions are not going to be asked. But they would ask you a question, like they would try to put you in a situation like a researcher, and suddenly there are mistakes in particular experiment, or you expected one kind of result, you are getting a different kind of result, how you can interpret that result, how you can proceed from this result, how you can design more experiment to gain knowledge about this. So these kind of questions they stress on. That's the best part. So obviously you don't need to like memorize anything or really mug up stuff to go to the interview. So I was like very confused that what would be in the interview, because it was my first interview and I was like totally confused. But it was really fun to see that they ask on your very basic. They test your fundamentals, reasoning skill, and aptitude, other than like how much information you cram up. So if you don't know anything, you can ask them, okay, I don't know this information, can you elaborate a little bit, can you give me a clue? It's totally okay. So I didn't knew something that they were talking about. I said, I don't know this process, can you tell me, then I can think about it. And they really told me, they guide me. So they also guide your thought process in the interview. So it's not that they would ask a difficult question and they don't want you to answer. They want you to answer, they want to listen from you that what you think, what your brain thinks. So always they focus on something which is known as active thought process. That means they are saying whenever you're thinking of the question, think loudly. Like, okay, saying that, okay, if this is happening, then I might think this could be done with this particular technique, or maybe this is the drawback of this experiment. So they want you to think loud such that they would monitor your thought process. And essentially, I'm saying that you are selected based on your thought process, how you are thinking or approaching towards a problem. There would be many problems which has no solution. These are open-ended questions that they ask, and these questions, they are like always innovative, and these are like open-ended, and every time there is a new question set. So there is no point of discussing any question here, but these are really innovative questions and you would feel very nice. Moreover, just to kind of like get rid of that nerve-wracking experience in an interview hall, they would supply you with a lot of food and coffee and biscuits every time, even sandwiches. So I was like very confused. So there is delay in the second round, because second round is pretty long. Sometimes it lasts for 40 minutes. For me, it was 40 minutes. So in that time, what happens, you would get tired, and generally they would ask you to come in the morning or a particular slot, but it would spill over. So that's why I was like eating here and there and chilling out. But it was very nice in the second round as well. So it doesn't really matter that how many questions you can answer or you cannot answer. The way you interact, the way you display your thought process, that matters. So after this, you would get a call from TIFR Mumbai saying that you are selected or not, or call or email. So for my time, there was a email first and there was a call which I didn't receive because I went somewhere. But anyway, so they would call and they would also email you officially that you are selected for this program, and this is the program joining date. Generally the joining date is from August. Yeah, from August. And definitely they would give you all the further information, that how to come, when to come, what to expect, how to get to the accommodation or anything. So every process, the fun part is every process is elaborately guided. So you really don't have to worry about many things. So I've given interviews in many places like NCBS, IISER Pune, other places as well in India. But I would really say the TIFR interview process is worth it. It's a lifetime experience. Even if you are not selected in TIFR, the way you interact in TIFR, the way you spend these 2-3 days were very joyful, and it's worth it, totally worth it. So if you get a call from TIFR for the interview process, definitely go there, and you would get a chance to interact with the seniors, the people who the people who are there. Maybe you can also talk to me when you come there. So yeah, and the seniors are super helpful there. Like for example, they would tell you that not to get too much confused, not to get too much frightened, because they won't ask you some information based questions. So overall, here is my experience. So do let me know if you have given an interview in TIFR, or you're planning to give an interview, your questions, etc. in the comment. I think I can help you. So this is an overall video to help you guys or share my experience with you guys, such that you would feel more comfortable next time you go for an interview, and don't feel too much scared that, okay, I'm going for an interview, what would happen. There is a nerve-wracking situation in the interview, right? And that is big problem, because if you are not comfortable with that environment, you are not able to deliver your thought, right? Because thought comes in a place when you need a space for thought. If you're like crammed in this kind of like fear, you cannot think, right? So this is the thing about TIFR. They really make you comfortable such that you can think and focus on thinking. There is no dress code, nothing like that. And they even don't check your mark sheet. Like, you just qualified a little bit of number, like 50 to 55%, that's enough. Number here doesn't matter. Whether you have a project experience previously, that also doesn't matter. Like, if you have a project experience, they would obviously talk about it. But if you don't have it, that doesn't matter, because many people who are selected don't have a project experience previously or a summer research internship previously, so it doesn't matter. And people from other streams like chemistry, physics, they can also get selected in biology. So that's the best part of this institute. It's quite interdisciplinary, and they accept from wide variety of like disciplines. So with that, I would say goodbye to you guys. And if you like this video, give it a quick thumbs up. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And please comment. Thank you.